Alright, we're back to heavy crappy lighting in here as I'm sitting on the floor staring inside a dark cabinet. Here. And as you might be able to see, I got the ARIII rebuilt, put back in. It's the only thing plugged in right now. I didn't connect it to the boards. And then I have a couple alligator clips clipped on the test, the 10.3 volts and ground test hooked up to my multimeter, which right now says we're getting 15.8 volts. Probably, I guess, from the capacitors. So I'm going to plug this in. The switch is already switched. I'm just going to plug it in. I hope nothing explodes. But I guess if it does, you'll get probably get a nice show regardless. So one of these days I'm gonna actually get a good freaking light. But alright. And 3, 2, 1. Alright. The lot power is plugged in. Getting 10.3132. Nothing's blew up yet. Let's see if I can't sit this in here so you can kind of sort of see. See that? Something lit up the smoke. What was it though? Yeah, that kind of sucks. Yeah, I'm gonna turn this off, pull everything, and see what happens. Alright. Well, I cut some wire ties and so I could pull the harness out enough to plug in the AR board outside of the cabinet. I plugged it in a while ago and I was only getting like 5 volts at the test point, where right now I'm getting 15. So I kind of took the board out and looked at it for a bit, and everything looked okay. Nothing was burned, but I did notice that I popped a fuse down here. And I'm thinking maybe, hoping, cross fingers, that's where the smoke came from. Because I've had this plugged in and turned on for a couple minutes and no smoke. I've touched pretty much every little component and can't tell anything's got hot. Even, the spots that look like where it got burned last time, nothing feels warm. So I'm assuming everything's working okay. So my next step is going to be probably disconnecting the actual game board on the bottom and just keeping the ARIII board plugged in up top and seeing what happens. So be back in a second. Alright. Well, I plugged in the System 1 board. Took the game off, got my testing lead on there. I plugged it in, screen came on, it's flashing no cartridge over and over again. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to work or if it's just supposed to be constant. So, but at least it's doing something. The LED's flashing. My guess is it's not supposed to. But still no smoke out of there, so I do think it was the fuse down here that blew. It was the 25 amp 32 volts low below fuse F3 is the one that blew. So, and I don't know how well you can see it. But you can kind of see that yellowy, oily looking stuff on the inside. So that's probably where the smoke came from. I'm really, really hoping, because nothing's happened since. But I first turned it on, and we were at like 4.8 volts, so I turned up the little pot there until it read 5.1, just to give it a little leeway. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug the game again, hook up the actual game board, and see what happens. Alright, I got the game board in. I got my multimeter hooked up to a couple test points on the game board. And I'm going to plug this bad boy in. And pray nothing blows up. Alright, we're getting still about the same voltage. That light's not flashing anymore, so I guess that's a good thing. And from the looks of it, we have a game. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I just rebuilt the ARIII. That was the entire issue. My guess was the tip 32. But I rebuilt that, replaced the bridge rectifier because it was burned and a bad wire. And it's working great again, so yay. Let's get up here. Get up off the floor. I don't hear any sound. But it might just not have attract mode on, maybe. Oh, well, I'm playing. Yeah, it's working. There's still no sound. Playing with one hand is kind of difficult. What happens when you coin up? Anything? Alright. Well, yeah, at least we got somewhere. We have a game. Alright. Been playing with Indiana Jones here, trying to figure out why we're not getting sound, and I thought, why not check the speakers? So I did, and I found out that this speaker here is not connected at all, and this speaker just has one wire connected. So I'm going to go ahead and hook both of those back up, hook that one up, and then the other two wires back in there, hook up to there, put it all back together and see what happens. Alright, I don't know what we were doing in our last video. I know it's one of them, we had started it and we weren't getting sound. I don't know if y'all were along for the ride, but at some point, about a week ago I guess, I was trying to get the sound back, and I had the AR plugged in and just the main board here, not the game board itself. And it come up and did what it was supposed to, just flash no game cartridge on screen over and over. And then I unplugged everything, plugged the game board back in, turned it on, and we stopped getting 5 volts. And so that's what I've been messing with for a while, and waiting for parts on. But I don't know how or why, but at some point in between turning it off, plugging in the main board, and turning it back on again, it caused the two 2-in 3055s down here in the middle of the heatsink, which you probably really can't see in the darkness. Pull some out of my box. Well, actually, I still got the old ones in the trash can. R2D2 trash can. These things here, little 2-in 3055s. Both of those fried for some reason. But I gotta replace them, and then I got some extra parts in from, I think, Arcade Shop. I'll have to look it up, but they had the TMS. What is it? The TMS 5220s. which is, I think, the Yamaha. I think it's the Yamaha speed chip, or I don't know. The two TMS 5220s, which is this little one here. They're not sure what all they control, but that one I think had a floating pin or maybe a grounded pin. Because when you started it earlier, we were getting kind of a heartbeat sound that burp, 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 through the speakers, which is I think why they were originally unplugged. And we weren't getting all the sounds. We weren't getting any of the speech synthesis. But I replaced that, and now we have all the sounds. We're not getting that weird heartbeat. The screen, I don't know if you noticed if I showed any of the gameplay, but the screen every now and then would kind of have some jitters and some of the stuff that was moving, and it was all caused by that one chip being bad. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll go ahead and put this door back on and get it powered up, and I'll be right back. My lovely reflection in the glass. Let it warm up. You can hear that fan buzzing. It needs that fan because that heat sink and those 2N3055s, those things get hot. And I think that fan originally died and caused everything to melt down. But as you can see, the game's working. It'd be better if I had the blinds put in here already, but works. As you can see, we got all the sounds. And let's see, I've already got. Now see these two scores here, 2 and 3, the 110 and 96. Those are actually the 3 live score. I don't know why they're showing up on the 7 lives, but it's saving some of the high scores anyway, which I think it's supposed to do. Let me put a quarter in. This is going to be impossible with one hand, but yeah, as you can see, it's working. So let's go ahead and see if I can't sneak by everybody. Come on, you can make it. Leave some catches behind. Just wanted to get to the next level so you can kind of see that it is working. Yeah. There you go. Go ahead and fall here. See? There you go. And then the marquee's lit up. It works. I just had to replace the starter. I want to replace the... oh, what the hell is it? The ballast. I want to replace the ballast, but they got it crammed in this little corner here. And I can get to the front screw, but to get to the back screw, I'm actually going to have to take this little wood piece off up here. Or find a little screwdriver that I can bend and work it in that way. But you can see it's lit up. It looks weird, but it lights up from about like here to say here. I want to try to figure out maybe if I can get it to actually spread more evenly across. Let me go ahead and turn that off. But my next project after that will be getting the Blastroids working, which the game board works. The monitor was working. And then the marquee, I replaced all the ballast, the starter. I need to get a bulb for it. But it works. But But once I get this going, which I got another chassis on the way, which I hope will work. Because the one that's in there, I had to replace the flyback, and it hasn't worked since for some stupid reason. I cannot figure out why. So this will be my next project, getting it working. So later.